name's Matt, and this is Keith, and welcome to...
I'm Keith. I can introduce myself.
I've introduced
to
you
my
for the
podcast. MMMK.
We've got a little bit different of a setup. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm fine.
I
tried to switch spots, but Matt doesn't like change, apparently.
That is not...
He had all sorts of problems with me trying to sit on the other side.
Because if you were sitting over here with the computer, you would have had a meltdown.
You didn't say that first.
You would have had a meltdown.
You didn't say that first.
Because I didn't think about it at first. And then whenever I walked over here...
because you initially had a problem with change, and then you came up with a reason after. Facts. How's your summer going?
My summer. Why did you speak to it like that? This is so weird.
Because I was asking the viewers.
Oh, okay.
Not you.
That was what it. Yeah. Viewers? How's your summer going? Oh,
no one responded.
Oh, you know what? Next year we should record a live episode in front of a studio audience. Okay, that's a goal for 2025. Season 2, live episode. Okay. And maybe we could record a few episodes.
It'd be like a talk show.
I know, it would be fun.
We could do it like Jerry Springer or Maury.
No.
You are not the father kind of thing. We should do that, but with our cats.
Keith, what was your favorite thing that we did during the summer?
Ooh, favorite thing.
Actually, let me rephrase. What's your favorite memory of the summer?
I mean, I always feel like my favorite summer thing is our float trip that we go on.
But what's your favorite specific memory of the summer?
The float trip.
But is there any specific moment during the float?
No, I just like the float trip. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing all of our friends.
Are you gonna ask me what my favorite memory is of the summer?
I mean, you can. How many times do we have to have this conversation?
Every single time. It's my favorite.
I do not have to ask you the same question.
I would think you'd learn by now, but I guess you don't like change. You know what? Actually, I think I do like the camera being right here because it's almost like I'm
not
looking
the dig you think it is. Like
it's not the dig you think it is.
It's like a second grader, and they're like, "Oh, you're fat," and they're like, "No, you're fat."
I'm saying the exact same thing that you said.
I know. It's like a second grader. That's exactly what I just said.
But then, how is you saying
it's not a comeback?
Just because it's like. And
anything is a compliment because you're complimenting me because it was a good thing.
I know, but I am not saying that exact thing second after you said it. I'm saying it in a situation that applies. Yeah. You said I didn't want to do this because I didn't like change.
Not too long ago.
I know, but
you're just using it.
Your example of the second grader thing though is your hair looks weird. Well, your hair looks weird. A better example would be if you said your hair looks weird. Later on in the day, you fall, get dirt in your hair, and then I say your hair looks weird. And I would actually even say it's probably even funnier than the first time you said it because I am applying it again.
I don't even know what you've just been saying. I zoned out.
My favorite memory of the summer. Would you like to know?
You can tell us.
You asked me to marry you. Stop. That is not funny.
Now I'm just waiting on my ring.
Yeah. Waiting impatiently.
I almost bought my own.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, I was going to be so mad at you.
I did think about just ordering a silicone one though.
Oh, I think that's good.
Because I mean, I feel like that's probably what I would wear most of the time anyways.
Right.
Just because I don't want to damage one that I really like.
Right.
Whatnot.
Well, don't do it yet because I haven't made up my mind.
Well, I mean, I could just get a silicone one.
I know, but don't do it yet because I've not asked you. And I'm saying I could change my mind.
You don't have to ask me. I already asked you. We're engaged.
I know, but I want to ask you.
You've asked me I don't know, 80 times already.
And you said yes, every one of them. So that happened this summer, and that's
on our float trip.
Yes, on our float trip.
with all of our friends. Not
Yeah.
all of our friends, but a lot of our friends.
Yeah, it was fun.
And they all were in on it.
And I was not. Would you like to go over?
You'll have to like put in the little video.
Yeah.
With it.
So we were playing a game that is like a rebus game. And if you don't know what a rebus is, it's if you had the word like dance and you put it in like a square shape, then it would allude to square dance. And so it's sort of like pictures and symbols that allude to a word or a phrase without directly saying it. And so we did it in like 2 teams. And I knew going into it that Keith was going to sort of like have this game made up. And I'm a very big fan of games. And so I was like super pumped. I was like, oh, Keith made this game. I'm so excited.
I mean, I don't know if people had so much fun with the game because they knew what was coming up because of the game, or if they really just enjoyed the game. I mean, did you enjoy like the game, like the team aspect of like racing and
yes,
because you didn't know what was coming?
So. Yes, I did enjoy the team aspect. I mean, like as far as critiquing your game goes, I think it would have been more fun if just from the get-go you were like, oh, everyone can work together.
I wanted it to kind of just like be like an individual, like almost like a relay aspect,
right?
But then like everyone essentially ended up helping. And so like when I noticed that, I was like, oh, a person on your left and right can help. But then it just became like a group effort anyway. Right, so then I was like, whatever, I'll just go with the flow because that's me.
Yeah.
It's true. You can ask anybody that I work with. I always go with the flow. With a little bit of complaining.
So we are playing this game that's like a relay thing. We do that part. My team does not do as well as I would have liked us to do. I believe the other team started helping each other way before our team did.
And that's when I came over and was like, oh, everyone can just.
And then the second one, we were like done pretty much at the same time they did. They got done a little bit beforehand.
The last part was each team was supposed to pick who they thought their best player was. And then those two would compete for like the ultimate like rebus solver type thing. Mm-hmm. And Matt's team knew that they needed to pick him.
Although I did not feel like I did the best on my team, so I wanted someone else to go because I would rather someone else go from our team and our team win than me go and like, yeah, it would be fun to like win myself. But I'm like, y'all, we've got to be strategic here.
And then, of course, Matt goes first because the second person, there was no plan for them to go anyways.
Well, and after so we did like 2 rounds of the final thing. The first round was sort of like an inside joke between us. And then you were like, okay, we're going to do it again. And I remember asking you, well, was he going to have 2 chances? Because that's not fair if I have 2 chances and he doesn't have 2 chances. And you're like, oh, yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
Well, and you're like,
everything.
How do we know who wins? And I'm like, oh, they're timing it.
The entire time I am so focused on the game and making it like fair and like following the rules that like there could have been a banner over me that was like, Keith is about to propose. And I would not have been aware of it in the slightest.
But then after he solves the first one, I had someone play our song. So our song's playing in the background while he's trying to figure out the second puzzle, which I think probably just made it more confusing.
It was so confusing. So first one happens. I'm like, okay, gonna get my head in the game. Second one happens. People that aren't even like up there are like, oh, I can see what it is. I know what it is. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous because you're not up here. I guarantee you think you know what it is, but you don't know what it is. And everyone's like super excited. And I'm just like, will y'all like calm down? Like I'm trying to see what this puzzle is. Our team needs to win. I told you guys I shouldn't have been standing up here. All that's going through my head. Then the Three's Company song starts playing and it's playing on this playlist. And I'm like, who put the Three's Company song on this playlist? That is such a weird song. We were going from like Cardi B, Chapel Roan, like that type of vibe into bum 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 bum, and I'm like, what is like? It was just a lot of stimuli.
My whole thought was like the first puzzle being like a joke between Matt and I, or not really a joke, but just an inside thing. That would maybe like kind of trigger like something, and then playing the song like trigger more.
It would
didn't.
have, but I was I just want to say right now, I will not ever let someone tell me they are more competitive than I am, because I was getting proposed to and I did not even realize it because I was so focused on
even after he figured out the second puzzle, which was the phrase, "Will you marry me?" He was still like confused and didn't know what was going on.
Well, because I'm like, that's a weird phrase to like have in this game. And like, weird. That's a weird. I was like, that's a weird phrase to have in this game. And I'm also like playing it with you right now. And you made the game. And then I was like, oh, wait. And then that's when I realized it.
It was pretty good. You need to write it down. You can write it down.
The other first was right.
How do you know this already?
Because I know.
Say it out loud.
What do you say?
We went to Colorado.
Went to Meow Wolf in Denver. It was our first. You've never gone to Meow Wolf?
No.
So our first Meow Wolf thing, and I've wanted to go for years. Super cool.
We had lots of good food. That was our first ever like vacation that we really took. I feel like
the two of us, yeah, just by ourselves.
And that was really awesome. And
spent too much money.
Yes, not going to talk about it.
Had my birthday this summer.
You had your birthday this summer. What did you get for your birthday from me?
Matt got me a remote control car. That's it.
You're not going to give any backstory behind it?
Hold on.
Don't. You always make jokes to me.
That was the joke, was like, oh, you got me a remote control car. And then that's it. No, it's actually a car that when I think I was like in, fifth grade maybe. And Radio Shack had this remote control car that I like wanted. And of course I never got it because it was like expensive. It was like $150, $160 or something. And never got it, always wanted it. And he found one on eBay or something and bought it. The Desert Viper. It's pretty cool.
So I got you a car. You asked me to marry you. Very eventful.
I got older. We got COVID.
Oh, we did get COVID. That wasn't fun.
After our float trip. That was the sickest I've been in a while. So whatever strain that was.
I don't know. I've always been pretty sick, dude. You looked like down.
Anyways, I actually, I was so sick that I called into work. And if you know me, I don't miss work. I'm a pretty reliable person, and I actually felt kind of bad about it, even though I shouldn't.
You should not. If you are so sick that you genuinely cannot go to work.
I was pretty sick. You can probably hear it. I still have like a lot of congestion, still have my cough. So wash your hands. Stay away from people all the time. That's my motto. Not really. I like people sometimes.
Yeah, we've just been, I feel like, all over the place with this episode. But the last time we did that,
it's all about summer, though.
That is true. That is true. And I feel like the last time we were sort of feeling sporadic. I feel like it edited well.
I mean, the kids have been here a lot during the summer because they're not in school, so they get to come over for longer. We got one kid doing gymnastics, one kid in football, one kid doing pom.
one kid working.
My adult kid working and figuring out life,
Right.
which is always fun and like interesting to see that kind of stuff.
Well, and we've like gotten to hang out with him a lot more. And
Yeah,
so
they've been here a lot. So it's always cool.
yeah.
So
It's been
summer, that's what I talking about. Like if you go back on our other episode about my favorite season, like that's what I do like about summer is just that it's like laid back. There's a lot of time like with people, including the kids. It's not as crazy as like running, doing this and doing that and school and homework and all that.
Now that football and school has started back up, even within the last few weeks, it's like,
Yeah,
it's not as relaxed.
so football game today. So
Which all that stuff is fun, but sometimes it's fun to just like have a break and chill out.
Yep.
I guess this is the episode. If you are listening to this podcast, you can also watch it. Probably today's episode is probably going to be better watched. I don't know. We'll see. I have not listened to it yet.
if you have any recommendations for us that you want to see here, we need to change something up.
I don't want your opinions.
I was
If
going to
I
say,
need a
don't
different
tell us because
co-host-
we don't care.
If you
I'm
think I
kidding.
should get a different co-host, let me know.
I know I could use someone else on this show, my show. Okay.
That it just. What would you talk about if it was just your own show?
I don't know.
Yeah. See that right there. You need the idea man.
I mean, I was talking about a lot of stuff in this. I don't need ideas. I can have ideas.
Okay, well, stay tuned for the next episode where Keith just talks to himself the entire time. So yeah, if you're watching this podcast, you can listen to it too. If you're listening to this podcast, you can also watch it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Spotify and Apple Podcast. All of those can be found at MMMK. I was like, I'm not saying because that's not a letter.
3M.
So there's 3 M's. No. MMMK podcast.
One day he'll get it correct.
Yeah, like this podcast, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Engage with it. Let us know what your favorite thing about summer is. Well, that's the end of the episode. Okay. Wait, what? Why'd you do that? Peace out, Girl Scout.
I wasn't thinking that.
Peace out, Girl Scout.